And I'm Shireen.
And this week we are taking a trip to Derry.
Ooh, spooky.
So this is really funny, but I'm gonna give like a little caveat here. When I was looking for ideas for October, and I thought it's been ages since I've watched it, both parts, especially both parts of the film. And I was like, oh, it would be really fun to do a rewatch, talk about some of the themes. Tis the perfect season for it. Talk a little bit about the coming of age aspects of it and some of the other things to do, with the films. Because arguably, this is one of the best Stephen King adaptations that's ever been made, particularly in the past decade, but maybe just in general. Honestly, it's so fucking good.
Very good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking about this, I had kind of like, we have like a schedule, like we've got like a planner that we kind of have in which we have like, when all of the episodes will come out and stuff based on the number of weeks per month. And I had just kind of put this one out and been like, okay, this one will be on the 24th, not realizing that the day that you guys hear this when the episode drops, Welcome to Derry is premiering this coming Sunday on HBO Max.
Fun.
I know.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it.
I'm looking forward to it. The only thing that I've seen, like I've watched a trailer, but the only thing that I've seen that is interesting is that they appear to be incorporating other Stephen King characters from other properties into the story. And so Dick Halloran from The Shining and Dr. Sleep is a character in the show. Who makes an appearance. So he's the one who also has The Shining and teaches Danny, like, kind of the understanding of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun. But anyway, this was just kind of like a weird coincidence, but it's a happy accident and it's worked out well.
It has.
So I'm quite happy about that.
Can't wait to continue our watching of it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to, you know what, like that's it. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what they've done with it and how they've incorporated this into a new universe. It was created by Andy and Barbara Muschietti, who directed and produced it chapters 1 and 2.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, they are a sibling team, actually a brother-sister team. So Andy Muschietti is a director. Barbara Muschietti, his sister, is a producer.
Okay.
They hail from Buenos Aires in Argentina originally, and they were massive Stephen King fans from the time that they were teenagers, and so eventually were able to kind of lobby to be able to take over this project. And then in 2017 chapter 1 was released, and then they split it off into 2 parts, and so part 2 was released, or chapter 2 I should say, was released in 2019. It is one of Stephen King's like longest novels and most popular, 100%. Most popular novels. It was published in 1986. Essentially he was inspired to write the novel by the idea, because he was thinking about like older stories, like, children's stories and things that are repeated to kids that they kind of remember when they get a little bit older. And he was inspired by the idea of like narratives and stories told to children, and maybe how these stories can follow them into adulthood, essentially. Right? Which, if you know what the story of the novel and the film is, you get kind of the tracks, like, it makes sense.
It totally makes sense, and I love that kind of context, because it really does enhance the watching experience and the reading experience of this novel.
Oh, 100%.
It just goes to show how brilliant Stephen King is, and how he just explores all facets of growing up, coming of age, but how horror integrates into that.
Into, like, from childhood into adulthood, and how that trauma can follow you.
Yes, if it goes unresolved.
Very much, yeah. And so the novel itself is also told in, like, in narratives that kind of vacillate between 2 time periods. So the period of time when the losers club of these outcasts, these kids, are in, like, junior high-ish age, and then 27 years later it follows them into adulthood and having to revisit the trauma that they experienced in Derry, Maine as children, how it's followed them into their adulthoods, and they're having to reconfront it, essentially, and rid the town of this evil once and for all, basically. The novel, actually, so the novel, obviously, because it was published in 1986, the time periods are different than what you get out of the film. So part 1-ish, let's say the childhood portion of the novel, is set in the late 1950s.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And part 2 is set 27 years later in about the mid-'80s, essentially, as the adults return to Derry, Maine in order to battle this entity that exists that calls itself Pennywise or Robert Gray. There's like a whole other side of that, but that's like that could do an entire episode about that. Anyway, what basically the crux of what this is that the evil... Okay, so the crux of what the sort of idea is to a degree, especially in the film, is that you kind of start to question if the entity of it itself, right, which seems to be some sort of almost alien type of creature, crash landed in the area of Derry, Maine, possibly thousands or even millions of years ago, and made its home there and resurfaces every 27 years in order to feed, essentially. You kind of have to question if, like, to an extent throughout the course of the story, if it itself is what causes the evil that exists in Derry, or if it is like the complacency and almost like the complicity of the people living in the town that allows this evil to foster and grow and continue.
Well, my understanding is because it exists in Derry.
Yes.
There is a certain level of success and prosperity of Derry.
Yes. However, there is an underbelly of the sacrifice, right, that comes along with that. And every 27 years, a good handful of kids just casually go missing, and no one ever really figures out what happens to them.
Well, there's also like an element of they forget about it, is my understanding. Like the magic
if you leave the town, especially, you forget.
Well, the further you are from the town, the less you remember anything, including details of your time in the town. But also there's an element of the individuals who leave the town, the losers.
Yes, the characters that we focus on,
they have a level of success in their life, and that is due to it.
To their experience in childhood, correct. Yeah, that's it. However, a lot of what you see to do with their success is that a lot of it is almost kind of surface level to a degree. And so again, it takes them, they have the success, but not necessarily the happiness that comes along with it. And therefore...
they're always missing something.
Exactly. And therefore it just requires them to return to town and reconfront this past trauma that they experienced and reconfront it and this entity for the final time in order to be able to truly achieve a level of happiness and move on with their lives. Because even though they moved away, they didn't move on to a degree.
Right. Well, one of them remains behind.
Correct.
To inform them.
Well, that part, and that plays its own kind of, role in things, obviously. If they need a person who's there to help, contact people and signal that something has occurred. So, okay. Anyway, this is a novel that obviously touches on a ton of different themes. As I said, it's well over 1,000 pages. I believe it's well over at least 900 pages, if not longer. The audiobook for this is 25 hours long.
Wow.
It's insane. The sort of major themes that are touched upon throughout the course of the story are things like loss of innocence, how childhood trauma and childhood events, I guess, can shape our reality later on in our lives and can manifest themselves. The idea that even evil itself manifests itself in the form of the ignorance of people and their prejudices, and just a host of other things. But there are a ton of different aspects like that I feel like that's something that is very prevalent in the films in particular, in both parts, is the idea of the complicity that the people of Derry kind of just accept this and choose to be complicit in. They're kind of aware to a degree of what goes on, and they simply choose to let it happen and to exist in their little reality.
Well, it's really well done, the adaptation, because they portray that without coming out explicitly and saying it. So you have that character in chapter 1.
Yes,
of Henry Bowers, who comes back in chapter 2, but he personifies this evil, helping the evil along, kind of. And then in chapter 2, there's a gay couple at the beginning who get attacked, and that's
a
quite
really
jarring.
it's a very upsetting
It
scene.
It is. I was watching it yesterday, and I was just like, I do not like watching this.
I forgot that, like, it's, it happens at the beginning. Especially chapter 2 is very long, but like it's very, like, there's a few scenes in chapter 2 that, like, I will say, and I understand, like, people overall enjoyed it less than chapter 1, and I do see its weaknesses. It is too long and drawn out. There are certain scenes that could have been shaved or potentially cut entirely, that just, like, sequences that didn't really add very much to it, or that maybe tried to insert a level of humor where there didn't need to be any, and I was like, this is a bit weird, like, tonally it feels
off kilter.
Tonally, like, it feels a bit strange and stuff like that. There are a few of those, but there are certain scenes that when they hit, they are like, they're very effective and very upsetting. And entire sequence at the beginning of chapter 2 with Adrian Mellon, who is the character, him and his boyfriend Don are at a fair in Derry, and they're attacked. And Adrian winds up being very badly hurt, but then also, of course, killed by Pennywise. And Dawn witnesses this, but I'm sure is unable to even understand what he witnessed.
Well, I was wondering if they were going to come back to that and show him in, like, an asylum or something.
No, I don't think they were going to bother with all of that. And I don't think that, because it happens in the novel as well. Right. And I don't think you ever see anything from Dawn, like, afterward. But... but the thing is that the evil that exists and that occurs and happens to Adrian in the first place has nothing to do with Pennywise and just has to do with the people who are living in the town.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, it's like there are people living in the town. Like, so Henry Bowers, who comes back in the second one.
These fucks at the beginning of the second one.
Yeah. Who are, like, arguably evil themselves.
Yes.
And they 100%. Just kind of add fuel to the evil fire.
I think they add fuel for Pennywise. I think he feeds off of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then it's kind of a chicken and the egg situation. It's like, are they evil because there's an evil that lives
was that
in
possibility
the town?
Already there, and he just found it and fed off of it,
and he enhances it. And I think it's really interesting what you were saying about, like, the theme of loss of innocence, because you really do see that in the progression from one film to another.
Definitely.
And I think that that's part of what we're seeing in chapter 2. You're saying people didn't like chapter 2 as much. There wasn't as much humor. There was a lot more seriousness. It was a lot scarier. Well, I mean, they're grown up now. Like, they lost that innocence. They can't make light of the situation because they've been living it, whether they remember it or not.
Yeah. I actually find it's one of those sequels that, like, the more I've watched it, the more I've appreciated it, where I feel like I didn't appreciate it very much the first watch through that I did of it, because I had really high expectations coming off of part 1. That with this second part, I maybe didn't appreciate it the same way. It was really on rewatch that I found so much to love about it. Yeah. And so that's been kind of cool, I find, to, like, revisit with it on a regular basis. Yeah. I wanted to say, I just want to, like, shoehorn this in because this was super interesting to read about a little bit. So, these chapter 1 and chapter 2, which were released, as I said, in 2017 and 2019, are not the first adaptations of this book. So there was a 1990 miniseries, which was released also in 2 parts, that famously starred Tim Curry as the Pennywise or It character. Obviously, different people have different feelings about it. I've watched it. I can definitely understand at its time, it would have been very effective. And honestly, again, for the time period itself and for, like, a direct adaptation, like, Tim Curry kills it as this character. He's very good. He's very scary.
Yeah, I bet. I haven't seen it, but I've seen pictures of it, and, like, and he's terrifying.
He's very scary. Clowns fucking freak me out in the first place. No, clowns and people dressed as mascots. I'm not a fan.
Really?
I don't like it. I'm like, who's under there?
Really?
I don't like that
so
shit.
We can't take you to, like, a football game or something?
I don't fucking like it. I don't like
You're
it.
hilarious.
I don't like it. We live in the Montreal area and we have a mascot for the hockey team.
Yeah.
And I don't like him.
Oh my God, you're so funny. How did I not know this
Every
about
time
you?
I see Youpie, I'm like,
I was going to say, what do you do when you see Youpie?
Who's wearing that fucking costume, Shireen?
Youpie.
Well, who's under there?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't like it.
He's big and orange and furry. What's wrong with you?
The only time I've ever dealt with it was at Disney World, and even then I was kind of like,
You're so funny. I had no idea about you.
I'm not a fan, okay?
This is hilarious. The only 2 things that scare Megan, clowns and fucking mascots, apparently.
No, I'm scared of a ton of stuff. I'm just calm about it. Anyway, so we have the It miniseries from 1990. Also,
so wait, sorry. Okay, I gotta go back.
Okay, fine.
Did you fucking have, like, Mickey Mouse chasing you around Disney World? Then
No,
you're like, no,
I did-
mouse, get the fuck away from
No,
me.
I did actually take a picture with Mickey, and that was like a point when I realized that they definitely have like a cooling system in their suits.
Okay.
Because like I like had my arm around Mickey, who's definitely a woman because she was tiny.
Oh, was she? Yeah.
And I could hear like a fan going off, and I was like, oh fuck, okay, they do have like a system that works in their
You're
suits.
so funny.
So if anything, that was just a learning moment for me.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. I digressed a bit too much, but that was a lot funnier in my head.
Okay, so we've got our 1990 miniseries. This one's gonna blow your fucking mind because I guarantee you don't know. In January of 1998, there is a Hindi language TV series adaptation of It that was released that consisted of 52 episodes in total.
Oh my god!
I know.
They covered every fucking chapter.
They must have done.
It was a Bollywood version of It?
Basically, yes. It's a Hindi language TV series called Woe or Wa. I'm sorry. I'm assuming in Hindi that probably is It. I don't know.
Okay, but it wasn't like musical.
I have no idea.
Okay, so we're watching this.
Fuck, I know. You know what I mean? I was reading this the other day, and I had legitimately never heard this before, so I'm sure I'm late to the party, but I was like, I kind of want to watch it.
52 episodes.
Yeah.
We're going to be here. Like, Megan, that is a year's worth of TV. One episode a week.
It probably was one season or 1 year's worth of a TV show, right?
One episode a week for 52 weeks.
Right, well, I guess that's what we're doing. So now, of course, with these newer films, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, obviously these are the most recent adaptations or versions of the novel. So, as I said, they do modernize things slightly. So the Chapter 1 actually takes place in 1989, and then Chapter 2 takes place 27 years later in 2017 when they come back, even though it was released in 2019.
Right.
Anyway, whatever. So anyway, just heads up, that's like kind of, that's what they did. They modernized it a little bit. I mean, and I get it to a degree as well, right? You've got a whole band of kids where we want to modernize things slightly because the late 50s would have been tricky, and also you might as well just ride that Stranger Things wave and set it in the same time period. Like, let's be
that's
real.
What they ended up doing, right? Like,
of course.
And they really released it at like such good timing.
It was the right time.
Stranger Things and like their cast.
Correct.
Oh, they were so good.
There's
Chapter 1, like they're so
honestly,
good.
Honestly, though, really, even on Rewatched Chapter 1 and Chapter 2,
yes.
Find me someone who does a bad job. You can't.
You can't. And they did such a good job with casting the
incredible.
older version of everybody.
It's incredible.
So good.
And just even to watch. Okay, so let me run through characters super briefly for everything. I won't keep everybody too long with that. Our loser characters consist of Bill Denbrough, Ben Hanscom, Beverly Marsh, Richie Tozier, Mike Hanlon, Eddie Kasbrack, and Stanley Uris. And then obviously also we have the character of It / Pennywise, whatever you'd like to call it. I don't think that for the kids or for the adults, I don't think that there is a bad casting choice that was made in any of this. You can tell the amount of care that was taken, and you can really tell. I find like the kids were fucking wonderful, and you can tell with the adults how seriously each of them took the idea of I'm aging this person playing this character.
Such a good job
It's so
because
good.
they had the same type of personality,
100%.
same like
Mannerisms were similar.
Yes.
Some of their ways of speaking were similar.
Yes.
And this was something that I noticed even with characters who you would think you would be you would be like, okay, whatever, they don't really need to be the same. Like I find Ben is the best example of that, right? So Ben Hanscom is the quote unquote like chubby kid, and he's
always one of those token kids
for
in
sure.
like 80s movies.
Yeah, so he's like, the sort of quiet, studious one who is like a little bit overweight and of course is bullied pretty relentlessly for that.
He's the new kid.
And he's the newer kid. He's been there for like a year, but he's still the new kid because everyone just like
knows everybody.
Is born and raised in Derry, essentially. Where his character physically has the biggest transition between childhood and adulthood because he literally transitions from Jeremy Ryan or something, I forget, anyway, Jeremy Taylor or something like that, to Jay Ryan as an adult, right? Who's like...
And they even call it out.
Like, fine.
Well, they call it out in the movie.
Of
like,
course.
I think it's Richie who says,
Richie
like,
says
you're hot.
He's like, you look like every Brazilian soccer player rolled into one, which I was like, that's a pretty good joke. But I found it was funny because like rewatching Chapter 2, I was like, expecting that I was like, well, these two will be the ones that will have the least number of similarities between them, but Jay Ryan goes to like the extra trouble of like moving a little bit similarly to Ben's character, to like speaking very similarly to him. Like he has like the same level of hesitation when he does speaks.
And kind of shyness, and like I noticed that too when I was watching it yesterday. I was like, oh shit, like it really is Ben, like the way he talks, the way he behaves, like I truly believed it.
That you're just like, he's just older and has abs now.
That's it. Like, you know.
He just got real handsome when he got older.
But like they did such a good job. Like, is it Bill Hader who does
Bill Hader's Richie?
Yeah, he does such a good job. I mean, arguably Richie was an easier one to do.
He's very outgoing. He's very outspoken because he's loud and brash,
and he's also very like signature. Like,
correct.
Yeah, okay, this is Richie. You know,
definitely.
But like Ben, even Beverly.
Beverly's wonderful.
You know, with her like quiet, but like, you know,
she's
ability
wonderful
to read the room and like
her
know
like
everything.
Really like Sophia Lillis I find is so wonderful in the first film. I love her so much, but then like at like you could tell that Jessica Chastain really wanted to take that and keep it.
Correct.
For what she needed it to be for the second part, and it's so good. And like everybody, Bill as well, same thing. James McAvoy fucking kills it at this character.
I completely forgot that they had James McAvoy in this. I'm like, holy shit, I forgot. Like it was like an all-star cast.
Yeah. And between like the two versions of them as well, speaking with a stutter when you don't have one would be a really difficult thing to do.
It's not the first time he's done that though in a role. Didn't he have to do that in Split or something?
Oh, maybe as one of the personalities. I don't remember.
I feel like I've seen him in a role where he had a stutter.
Maybe we feel like he's just really good at it.
He's such a good actor.
He's wonderful. He is a very good actor. And even people who maybe don't feature as heavily. So I'm thinking of like other characters who don't feature as heavily. So you brought up Henry Bowers. Both versions of Henry Bowers are so fucking good.
He's fucking terrifying.
He's so scary.
He is so scary.
I love the teenage version because he has a level of unchecked rage that I feel really works for this character.
Oh my God, like he is so angry.
He's so angry.
I remember when I was rewatching this,
Aren't you like, oh my God.
I'm like, oh my God, can we take this down like three notches?
There's a very jarring scene in which him and his like shitty buddies attack Ben, and he decides that he's going to carve his name into his stomach, which is like unhinged. Even his friends are like, Henry, what are you doing?
He's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. And like even when they do, he's like, shut the fuck up. Like he's
so angry.
Oh my God, he's so scary. And you can tell that he comes from a home filled with trauma, and he is abused on a regular basis because he is so filled with unchecked anger, and he has no other release for it than when he like commits these acts against these other kids. It is his only release because he's so he's so like attacked and confined in his home, and he has to like sort of almost like kind of roll himself into a ball essentially to avoid being confronted by his father, who is the sheriff, by the way. He's a piece of shit.
Well, he kills him in the end.
Yeah, he does as well. Whatever, he fucking deserves it.
But like then Henry Bowers in like chapter 2.
Oh, he was so good.
So scary, man. Like I'm like, oh my God.
Because he transitions from the level of unchecked rage to a level of mania. Yeah. And it's so good. It's seamless.
Oh, they do such a good job.
The transition between the two parts, seamless. Both of them incredible. Such good performances. Yeah. They're so good. And who else am I thinking of? Stan.
Oh, Stan.
Stan is so... He's adorable in chapter 1 because I just feel like you can tell the entire time he's like, I do not want to be here.
He ends up getting his fucking face chewed.
Yeah, and he's in spite of the fact that this terrifies him, he exhibits a level of bravery that I think is really commendable. And
like
it's
a quiet bravery.
Correct, yeah. And I feel like the adult version of him he's on screen for 5 minutes.
Oh, but he does such a good job.
Eats up the entire scene that he's in. It's essentially one phone call that transitions into one, spoiler alert, death, because he chooses to end his life rather than return to Derry. And that actor, I think his name is Andy Bean, he's so effective at that particular role. And like I said, he's there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but like he managed in those 5 minutes to remind the audience of
why you liked Stanley in the first movie.
How great Stanley is in the first movie, and like how sad it is that he's not.
Oh, it's so sad. It's really sad. I always cry at the end when they're reading the letter from him, when Bill reads the letter from him, because there's something also in there too that it's something that comes back. This is something in this movie that I feel like, I don't know why nobody talks about it, but I find the score is really effective in the movie.
I noticed.
I don't know what it is. There's a specific track that is used at the end of chapter 1 when all of the losers make their promise to return to Derry should they ever need to if it comes back, and then it's repeated again at the end of chapter 2 when Bill is reading the letter that Stanley sends to all of the different losers, and it's just like, it's a really lovely piece, and there's like a refrain with a flute, I think, and it's so beautiful, and it always like makes me like, oh god, so sweet,
I can't
so
say
sad.
I've noticed, honestly.
I'll
have to check it out after.
It's so good.
But yeah, but like...
Yeah, just everybody. I think that's part of what it is. There was so much care taken with the casting in both of these films that really lends themselves well. There was a lot of care taken with the writing, obviously.
Yeah. Can we comment on the relationship between Eddie and Richie?
I love it so much. But so this is the one thing that bugged me about stuff. I wish that there is a subplot that's revealed that has to do with the fact that obviously Richie's gay.
Yeah, and he's in love with Eddie.
And he had a crush on Eddie as they were growing up and stuff, and I think that continues into adulthood to a degree. I wish that they had touched on it more, developed it more in part 1. I wish that we had gotten more of it in chapter 1. I don't mean that we would have had to have understood exactly what was happening, but just a little bit more.
Like just a wink or a nod to it.
Because this time I watched them almost back to back within the same week, and I was like, oh, I really wish they'd done more with it in chapter 1.
But they didn't do a lot with it in chapter 2 either. There was like a nod to it at the end, but I feel that in chapter 1, like, if I'm to play devil's advocate here, when you think about it, at the age that they were at, if Richie had a crush on a girl, it would have been like pull her pigtails,
I know, it's true. He bugs Eddie all the time.
Like, he never, ever lets him be for a second.
And the two of them are like funny in like a very cute way in chapter 1. In chapter 2, Bill Hader and it's James Ransone who plays the adult version of Eddie. They're hilarious.
Yes.
They are so funny.
Yes.
The two of them together, every bit of dialogue and every scene that they have together is very funny.
They're so funny. Like, I was quoting this to my husband earlier. Like, it's like, who married a woman 10 times than your body?
I did.
I did.
Oh my god. And I love that.
You are fearless.
I love that casting choice. I love that the actress who plays Eddie's mom in part 1 plays his wife in part 2. It's so good. And it's so funny because he literally married his mother, and it's so funny.
It's so funny.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was just like a funny, silly little nod. And she's not in especially part 2, she's not in it very much, but she's really good.
She's fun.
All of the
Say You Love Me, Eddie.
Oh my god. I love you, mommy. What?
What?
Nothing.
So
good. It's so good. I will say, okay, wait. I want to know. Yeah, I want you to like just tell me, like, thinking of it. I don't know if they're like the same or if they're two different ones, but who are your favorite child loser and adult loser? Do you have favorites that are different from each other? Are they the same both times?
Oh, they're definitely the same. Like, it's definitely Eddie and Richie for me.
Yeah.
Like, they make the movie for me. I think it's again lending to the Stranger Things and whatnot, but I do have to say, like, Beverly is such a complex character.
I love her character.
She is, she's like a very subtly, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like she's kind of in the background, but if you actually paid attention, you would see that she has the most complexity. She does such a great job, and she's almost the most endearing because, yes, she lives this horror with Pennywise, but you could argue that the horror that she has at home is fucking worse.
The horror was already there. Yeah, if we want to pick, if we would like to pick a least favorite parent, it's her fucking dad.
Oh, I hate him.
He's
that
disgusting.
Whole scene with the perfume.
He's disgusting.
In chapter 2, I fucking hate him.
Yeah, no, he's awful.
But yeah, right back at you. Which ones are your favorite?
Okay, so I think, to your point, I think that Beverly, so this is like a weird thing for me, but I think that Beverly is my favorite if I need to pick one, because there's just something seamless about her from childhood to adulthood that both performers are fucking phenomenal. Yeah. And just everything about the way her character's written and performed, I think, is seamless from start to finish, and it's perfect.
You're rooting for her.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think that as an additional caveat, if I get to kind of pick somebody else, my most underrated loser is Mike.
Mike is awesome. He's like the backbone of the losers.
He is the one who kind of ties everything together. He remains in town. He becomes the librarian, and he's the one who calls everybody back. And I feel, unfortunately, like in both chapter 1 and 2, he doesn't get enough screen time or enough credit.
A little erased.
He's a little left off to the side, and he has such an, unfortunately, traumatic backstory that could have been really easy, like really interesting to explore to a degree. His parents died in a fire. He is homeschooled. He's not in school with the kids, so he's like the outsider of the outsiders club.
It's true.
You know, and so there's like a really interesting level to him, and I found Chosen Jacobs in chapter 1 had this really lovely sort of naivete to the character to a degree, again, because he's sort of separate from them in his own way as well. And in chapter 2, I found Isaiah Mustafa was like pitch perfect. He's so good.
Yeah, there's like I don't know if it's because he doesn't go to school with them or because of his trauma that he has. There's like a level of separation between him and the other losers.
A little bit, yeah.
Where he's like, this is something that I have to do, not because I'm friends with you, but because I am doing the right thing and I am brave and I must save the town because I don't want anybody to live the way I've lived with the grief of losing my family. And he had that guilt of feeling like he should have done more to help them. And so I think that he just spends the rest of his life saying, I'm never, ever going to be in that situation again. So I think the reason why he's a little... I don't know, held back from the rest of them is potentially because he doesn't have the bond of friendship at first.
Because he comes in last as well. And he definitely does by chapter 2. He definitely
does.
You
definitely
can see it. He ties everybody. He kind of really helps to tie everybody together. I love the phone call between him and Bill at the end. I think it's so lovely.
It is. But like, obviously, like, I think Richie and Eddie are just the loudest. So
God, definitely. Definitely. And it makes sense. And also, and again, but there's also like, you know, I'm saying that like these are like our favorites and stuff. There's none of them I'm like, ugh. Like they're all so good. They're all incredible at all of it the entire way through. Even like some of like the other side characters, Georgie, get out of here.
Georgie,
that kid is so cute.
Breaks my heart every time.
Oh, he's
like,
so cute.
You know, he's so cute.
He's
and like,
so sweet.
I just felt so bad for Bill in the second one, you know, where he says like, I wasn't actually sick. I wasn't that
sick. I just didn't feel like playing.
I just didn't feel like playing.
You just
and it's
didn't
like,
want to.
But
it's so normal. It's such normal older brother stuff.
It's okay
he doesn't
to not
feel
want
like
to
it.
play.
Yeah.
And I love that they had that like closure for him.
Yeah, me too.
He had the best closure, I felt.
Yeah, I think he had the best maybe through line, which does make sense because it's like Georgie's death is the inciting incident of the film, right? So you want to follow that through and you want to see him get that closure. So I do like that about him.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that about that character. Okay, let's see, before we kind of like get too far into things, other certain favorite things. Okay, are there any for you, I guess, what are the most, from chapter 1, chapter 2, doesn't matter, what are the most impactful moments for you?
Ooh,
like whether they scared you or storyline wise you found that they were the best, like whatever it might be.
I mean, you know me, when it comes to like horror movies, I like watching them for the plot.
Oh yeah, of course.
The big scares and the gore and the whatever, I kind of skip them. I kind of hide my head in the popcorn bucket. So I'll like preface by saying that. So there was a lot of chapter 2 that originally I didn't really pay attention to because I was too busy just going,
this is really gory.
This is really scary. But actually, this was the first time that I picked up on the relationship between Eddie and Richie.
Really?
I hadn't caught it last time because I was too busy hiding in the popcorn bucket.
You were too busy hiding?
So that kind of made me look back onto chapter 1 and like reassess the whole thing. And which made Eddie's death even sadder.
Oh my god!
You know,
it breaks my fucking heart when they're
Richie like never had a fucking chance at happiness.
When they're cleaning themselves off in the water and he starts crying. I always start crying. So I'm just sad. Like, oh okay. I cry like 2 times before the movie ends. It's insane because every time I do it, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, like I said, Bill's moment of closure was really great because when he finally admits that he's felt this whole time like it was his fault, because you could argue, like, why is he so hell-bent on, yes, he's a big brother, he wants to find his little brother, for sure, but what is motivating him so much? And then you find out that it was guilt.
It was his guilt.
The whole time.
Which makes complete sense. It makes
complete sense.
Yeah.
So I love that storyline.
It's so good.
When it comes to Beverly, I just feel that character, there's nothing that she would find in her life that would allow her to be fully happy.
No, I know that's why she unfortunately marries an abusive man.
Yeah, like, that breaks my heart for her, but it's kind of like, I get why that happened.
Yeah, why she would be drawn to someone like that. And, I mean, I guess, like, the thing that you can be happy about is that she is able to break away from that cycle of things and find happiness with someone by the end.
But I think it's just more like just kind of a quiet contentment, and that's all she's going to have. And I felt like that's what they were getting at with the ending of it. But yeah, those were kind of my highlights. What about you?
Yeah, I will say in terms of through line to, exactly to your point, I feel like Bill has like kind of a perfect one from start to finish. I love that it's an element of guilt that exists. And then just like as something a little bit different as a side note, if we're talking in terms of impactful, because I do pay attention to the whole thing the whole way through, and I like, like I might hide in the popcorn bucket to a degree, but I am kind of like paying attention to what's happening. In terms of impact, I will find on this particular rewatch especially, I was really upset when I watched the scene in chapter 2 where that little girl, Vicky, with the birthmark goes under the bleachers.
No, I couldn't watch that. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, that one. No.
This poor little girl.
I was yelling at the TV.
And what upset me, what upset me the most about it is, it makes total sense because, it uses, like, your deepest fears and insecurities. But what upset me the most about it is, was the whole conversation with Pennywise saying, like, oh, people make fun of me because the way I look is well to lure her back in. My God.
And he's saying, like, he's promising that he's going to be able to get rid of that thing on her face.
I'll blow it away for you.
I'll blow it away. Just come closer. Oh, but you probably don't want to see my face. No, I don't mind. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate it because he's playing on her insecurities.
It hurt my heart.
You are fucking evil.
Oh, it
Die.
It hurt my heart so much to watch. It was so sad. It actually made me feel so much better because I had watched some behind the scenes stuff, and it made me feel so much better to watch some of the filming of that scene because thank God I watched that too because it did make me feel better because they would like do a take or whatever of the scene, and Bill Skarsgård will always stop after a take and be like, "Are you okay?" And he checks on them when he's doing it.
I need to watch that because like that scene, I think every time I finish watching it, I just banish it to the depths of my brain.
That little girl did not die. She's fine.
Because every time, I think I've seen this movie maybe 3 times now.
Her and the skateboard kid. I'm like, oh, no.
Which skateboard kid?
The kid in the House of Mirrors or whatever there at the carnival.
Oh, no, not him. He was so cute.
Dean.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
But like every time I watch that scene with Vicky, I'm like, I always question, like, does she have paint on her face? Like, it always takes me a minute.
It's a birthmark,
And then I'm like, oh, fuck, yes, now I remember what's happened.
Birthmark. Here. Actually, I'd completely forgotten, but you see her in the opening of the film.
Yes, you do.
Because Adrian gives her the toy that he wins, the prize that he wins at the carnival game because he sees that she's disappointed.
And
he's
she
like,
has it
here.
in the bleachers as well.
And it's, again, it's an idea of any good in Derry being snuffed out. Like, he's nice. He's nice. He gives her his prize and then he gets attacked for that.
And, like, Dean also is, like, he's a good kid.
He's a nice kid.
He's a nice kid.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the kid who was in The Lucky One?
I don't think so. No, that would have been ages ago. There's no way.
Wait. Okay, but who was this kid then? Hang on.
Are you thinking about the son in the Lucky One?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't remember.
I don't know, man.
No, it was years prior. There's no way that's possible. He wouldn't be the same age.
I know.
People age straight.
He looked the same, okay? Wait, I've seen this kid in something else.
Kidoki. Oh, the one from It, Chapter 2.
Oh, he's in Dead to Me, that's why.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. And he's also in a lot of Christmas Hallmark movies.
Oh,
he's also in Deadpool 2.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, I knew I'd seen him somewhere.
Okay, well, not the lucky one, but
okay, you can edit all this
he's
out.
a cutie patootie, though.
He is. He's adorable.
He's
okay, you
so
can
sweet.
edit this whole scene out. This is completely pointless.
Doesn't matter.
My energy levels have just gone
Whoosh. Okay, so yeah, so I feel like those are the kinds of things. And now, okay, to kind of wrap things up, because we've been, waxing about all of the characters and the themes and all these different aspects of things, I think we would be remiss, obviously, not to talk a little bit about Bill Skarsgård's performance as Pennywise.
Oh, it's fucking terrifying.
Because it's iconic. It's iconic now. He lives in the pantheon of horror villains.
Well, that's it.
It's not possible for him not to.
I'm sorry. Am I about to see him show up as the male lead in a rom-com? I don't fucking think so. All I'm going to see is Pennywise the dancing clown every time.
I mean, I can see him in other stuff now, and it's fine. He was in Barbarian. He was good in that.
Isn't that a scary movie?
It is. I know. This is where
I'm
I like.
saying, if he tried to jump genres.
No, I don't. I wouldn't know what to do if he tried to play a romantic lead. No, I need him.
If he tried to play a hot snowman come to life.
Ew, God, that movie was so fucking terrible.
I still haven't finished it.
It's so bad.
But that's what I'm saying.
No,
you wouldn't see him in a role like that.
No. It wouldn't make any sense. He's got to do he's in Barbarian. He's in John Wick 4.
He was in The Crow.
He's in The Crow. Yeah, I haven't watched that. It looks terrible. Everybody hated it. So, because it's just the first one, the original was good. You just leave it alone. That's always what I feel like.
Yeah, he was Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Also, wow.
Yeah. He's an excellent actor. I mean, that whole fucking family, they just bred a whole bunch of
They did. They bred a bunch of really talented people.
Yes.
Alexander Skarsgård's in everything.
He's True Blood, right?
True Blood, yeah. I mean, he's in Murderbot right now.
That's right. Yes, he's the robot.
He's very funny.
Yeah, he is.
He's in Murderbot right now. He was in Succession. He had a recurring role in Succession.
And the dad.
He was in Big Little Lies, I believe, for a while. So I've not watched it, but I believe that he was in that as well. He's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, but Daddy Skarsgård is also.
Stellan Skarsgård's been in a bazillion different things. I mean,
he was,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's right.
Yeah.
Was he? He wasn't Davy Jones. No, that
no.
was.
He's also in Mamma Mia.
That's right.
Yeah, very funny.
No, he was Bootstrap Bill.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's Thingy's dad there.
Yeah.
And even Gustav Skarsgård, who's another brother in the family, is in Vikings.
Daddy Skarsgård is in Dune.
Is he? I've not
Yeah,
watched. I haven't.
I
haven't watched them, guys. These are not for me.
We tried
Sci-fi
watching.
epics are not for me.
The boys were watching Dune Part 2, and Megan was like, I am not fucking watching this.
No, it was Part 1.
Was it Part 1? Oh,
I haven't
that's right.
even touched Part 2.
That's right. I've seen Part 1. We went to see it in the theater.
You fell asleep.
I did.
Yeah.
It was very long.
Yeah.
And lots of chanting angrily and shit.
Crud. Yeah.
Anyway,
okay. We could go on and on.
we could. The wine is out.
But anyway, all of that to say that obviously, yes, we do understand from a performance perspective and and kind of icon perspective, then obviously Bill Skarsgård kind of makes the film as well, because he's excellent in it, and I'm definitely looking for it. I don't think that in It Welcome to Derry he's going to play a super major role necessarily. I don't think we'll see him in every single episode. However, he will be in it. He's reprising the role, so I'm curious to see in this context how they're incorporating him in, because this is earlier set. It's a prequel. So
I mean, the thing is, if you didn't have someone like Bill Skarsgård playing Pennywise as well as he did, this movie would not be as iconic as it is.
Agreed. No, 100%. Because in spite of everybody else is wonderful, and they are.
Yeah. The main attraction is Pennywise.
Is the horror character, that character that elicits fear in you.
He's so fucking scary that I can't even look at him on screen. He
really
freaks me out. As soon as he is up, I'm like, I don't want to hear him talk. I don't even like his voice. It scares me.
I really love him as the clown itself. I think actually the scarier bit for me is in chapter 2 when you see him without the makeup on, when Beverly is going to look for her token and she's at that weird creepy old lady's house and she sees him.
Yes.
And he scratches his face and the lines that he has in his makeup appear and stuff like that. Yeesh.
Yeah. There's so many scary moments in the second
It's
one
very
that I
effective.
spent most of my time under the covers.
Yeah, it's very effective as a film, honestly, from really both parts from start to finish. So, and I think it will continue to be lauded probably for years to come, for sure. I'm kind of hoping that now that we've gotten this, I'm kind of hoping they leave it alone. I don't think we need a remake, honestly.
I genuinely hope. It's like, it's like with the Lord of the Rings. It's like, just leave it alone now.
Yeah.
Do not remake that movie.
I think we're good.
Ever.
No, I think...
Don't touch it.
We got that. We have that originally trilogy. It's perfect. Please leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I don't need
Put it on a
else.
shelf.
I agree.
We never talk about it again.
Yes, we watch it. We rewatch it when we feel like
Put
it.
it in the tomb like the Nazgul. The ring wraiths.
And we just rewatch it from time to time.
Yes.
And we're happy.
We should rewatch that.
Sure, yeah, we can do like a watch party for over the fall when it gets rainy and terrible outside. Yay, that sounds great. Anyway, we've been at this for a while, so we got to wrap it up. But obviously, we have a lot of love for both parts of these films. And I'm really glad that we took a minute to kind of rewatch both almost back to back, because I feel like it really helped me to catch a few things that maybe I hadn't the first time around. So I appreciated that. Yeah. Okay, we're coming at you with one last episode for the month of October. So wrapping up everything to do with horror next week. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, check out everything we have going on over on the website at fullybooked.ca. You can check out all of our socials. So Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Search for Fully Booked CA and you will find us there. But until next week, guys, keep on reading.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.